I'm here today from WorldVuze Education, and happy to have you listening today. And hopefully you're enjoying the Global Collaboration Day and learning lots about all of the really fantastic resources that are out there for classrooms now to collaborate. And we wanted to today just introduce to you another tool called WorldVuze. And it's a free online platform for elementary and secondary school classrooms around the world to use for free. We're a nonprofit organization, and really our goal is to have as many and as diverse perspectives from students around the world learning from one another as possible. So happy for you to join us. And just today we're going to be showing a quick demo of WorldVuze and how it works and how you can quickly use it in your classroom. So feel free to refer back to this at any time, or also go on to our website, worldvuze.com, WORLDVUZE.com. You can also check out some of our online demos. So let me just show right here. I'm going to do a little screen share. Here we go. Right. So here's the website, worldvuze.com. Again, so what it is, it's a map-based question and answer platform. So as a classroom, you can post questions for this safe community of other teachers and students only. We vet every single educator that's on the site that signs up and ensure that they are in fact a practicing elementary or secondary school teacher. And all of the students that are on the site also have to be connected to at least one active teacher to be able to use the site in order to ensure that we have this safe community of students and teachers only. And once you're on, you can post questions as a class and gain access to perspectives from students across your own local communities and around the world to understand a diversity of points of view on what you're learning. So the first step is to sign up. So as an educator, you can click on sign up, as well as I'm a teacher or I'm a student. Again, it's free to use. We're a nonprofit, and it was really important for us to ensure that there were no obstacles for classrooms, especially having a diversity of points of view exchanged for all classrooms to be able to participate. So as a teacher, you fill out this simple sign-up form. Remember to add your school email address if you have it. This is an important step to ensure, in one of the core ways that we will verify your identity, as well as entering your school name and school address here. If it does not already exist in the system, you can click here to add it and add in this form as well. If you're having difficulty for whatever reason filling in your school name and address fields on the sign-up form, you can always leave it blank and add that at a later time. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in. So I'm going to show you what the teacher view would look like, and then in just a sec, I will go into the student view as well. So right when you enter in, you're going to see that everything is going to be map-based. So you launch right onto questions that are already asked by other classrooms that are on the site. Right here, for example, is a question from a grade 10 English class in South Africa, asking about other classrooms that may be studying the same and learning about the same book as they are, The Merchant of Venice. So you can see up at the top, you can filter questions in different ways. You can look for questions by different category fields, such as politics, by different ages, by the as well as you could search for questions that of a specific topic or region that you're looking for. So I'll show you that in just a second. Another thing you could do is browse questions by maneuvering the arrows from left to right. And this will show you the most recent, or in this case, the well, you can move on the right side to go to the most recent, and move on the left to go to the questions that are asked in the past. I'm going to just jump right into one of the questions that was already asked on the site about healthcare. So, for example, when I typed in healthcare, I'm getting actually quite a few questions here. So I've got 3 questions asked about healthcare. This one question from a grade 5 class in Austin, Texas, wanted to know how young people felt about national healthcare. So as an educator, I can click on this question and view the answers. As a student, I actually can answer this question. I'll be prompted to do that. I'll show you that in just 1 second. So you can see here that when I'm looking for how other students have responded to this question, I can filter by country. So in this case, students from 5 different countries responded to this question. I can also filter by the actual answer they responded by. So for example, when I'm clicking on this graph, I can see a breakdown of how students have answered this question. For the most part, a lot of students have said that they are in favor of national health care, and in a much smaller proportion of respondents either didn't have an opinion about national health care, or had mixed feelings, or were against the idea of national health care. So I'm going to go ahead and just look at the answers in, say, Tanzania. You can click on the different answers to see how students have actually responded to the question and dig deeper to understand their point of view. For example, this question by Nyan Kraft, who's a 13-year-old student in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, said that they are for national health care and stated that there might be poor people who can't afford to go to private health care, and if they don't have the national health care, they will die without any medication. You can look at many different answers and see if there's interesting patterns that come up, perhaps geographically, as well as by sub-regions. For example, if I clicked on Canada, there are 3 regions and provinces within Canada that show up: Ontario, Saskatchewan, and British Columbia, where there may actually be different points of view coming from those different sub-regions within a country. Also, as an educator, what was really important to us is that you're able to view the activity of all of your own students at any point in time. So on the left-hand side, you can see all of your own students in the list, and you can click on any one of your students to actually view all of their activities, so you can keep up to date with how students are actually responding, and to ensure that they continue to have a high quality of response. The other interesting thing that I wanted to point out here is that we have a profanity filter system built into WorldVuze. So if a student were to share an inappropriate comment, any of the profanity would not be visible on the site. However, if there was also a case where it wasn't necessarily profanity, however, it may have been an inappropriate comment, any teacher or student on the site can flag the post as inappropriate, and this will send an alert to the teacher of that student, as well as the teacher of the student that flagged the post, and the WorldVuze team to address it from that point on. Whether we move to delete it or we move to keep that post on the site will be interpreted based on a case-by-case basis. And the last thing I wanted to show was the profile section from this teacher perspective here. So if I'm going to be adding a new class, I would go to Classes. I would create a class. I would enter in the name of my class, what grade my class is in or form, the subject area of my class. Perhaps it's we have a social studies class. I'd enter in my class end date, which is a really important piece to add the class end date, where this would show that it's the last day that your students will be connected to you. Once the class is over, your students will no longer have access to WorldVuze unless they join another class where a teacher is actively engaged. And then you enter your class age range. Make sure it actually reflects the ages of your students. A viewing age is optional, where you can choose whether or not to add a range of ages where your students would be able to view content. So we don't highly recommend that, because that would limit the perspectives that you'd be able to see on the site, but we included that in case that is a concern for your particular class. You can also share your class with other teachers that are also in your school on WorldVuze. And once you create that class, each class is its own unique class code. So you can copy and paste the class code, and that would be important for when your own students join. I'm just going to show you really quickly how a student on the site would join. So they would also click sign up. They would click I'm a student and enter in all of their information, a unique username. So we request that the usernames would not identify themselves personally. And if it's a username that you're not happy with as an educator, there's also an opportunity within your profile section to change their username information or even reset their passwords. You can then go, students can set their password. So again, remind your students that as we do not have any student email addresses for privacy reasons, they will be logging into WorldVuze with their username and password. So remind them to record their username and password and make it something that they'll remember. Again, they'll enter their gender, their age. The registration code is the class code that's unique to the class that they signed up for. Again, students can be part of multiple classes, and I can show you just quickly how that would work when I log in. So I'm going to log in as a student that already exists on the site. So you can see a little bit of how they would actually, what they would actually see. Here we go. So again, I'm seeing the same questions as my teacher sees. I have an avatar, so I can play around and make that as personal as I want. And as a student, say I wanted to answer this question, who do you look up to as a role model? I can click on the question, and then I'm prompted to respond to the question. So every question on the site is has both multiple choice and an open-ended part to it. I may, for example, choose that a person in my family is the answer that I want that best represents myself. But every single time that I answer a question, I always have to describe why. So this way it provides both a qualitative and a quantitative understanding of these perspectives, and a way to both find patterns in perspectives and then dig deeper to understand them in a better light. So students can type in their answer and then click submit. Then they can also look at different responses from other students. Again, they can analyze the data in different ways, again, by country and region and gender. You can see on the map how when they click on an answer, the map will move to the place where that student is from. So as students are navigating the responses, they can actually feel in real time and this very interactive way where these perspectives are coming from. So they're getting a sense of the geographic location as they move forward, as well as they can answer and share a mind shift. So if they're reading many different perspectives and through the exposure to new points of view, they change their mind. They can add a mind shift, which would share how their change of thinking is, any change of thinking that they have. So how they used to think about this topic and now how they think about it. So that could be a really, really interesting feature to keep track of as you go as an educator. Another thing is the activity feed. So in this case, this particular student doesn't have any activity feed here, but this is a place where if other students are going to comment on each other's answers and mind shifts, students would be able to see that activity in this section here. And that way it's more of a conversation that can happen. It's asynchronous, so this way you can have, students can safely have these open dialogues with students from anywhere in the world, and it's not dependent on them being able to communicate at the exact same time. So here, as a student goes to their profile page, they can view the questions that they themselves have answered, or questions that have come from their own class. They can look and see the classes that they are a part of. So in this case, this student is only part of one class at this time. But if they wanted to be part of more than one class, they can add a class by just typing in the code here and clicking Add Class. And it's as simple as that. If, as a class, you want to ask a question, the teacher will post the questions on behalf of their class, and then share it with the world. Go out there and encourage more classrooms to answer your own questions. Push your question out there and see how many points of view you can collect, and create this opportunity for this really interesting shared learning. So we're happy to answer any questions that you may have. Please feel free to join worldvuze.com for free. If you want to also follow up with if you have any further information or questions that you'd like to ask, you can feel free to contact us at info@worldvuze.com. You can also go to our demo page if you go to our blog, and we have lots of demos that you can continue to learn from, and follow along. They're quick 2 minutes or less videos that will help guide you through the process. And yeah, we're excited for you to join the community. Feel free to reach out to us at any time, and hopefully you enjoy your Global Collaboration Day. All right, well, bye for now.